Okay, yogis, let's begin. So we'll start in child's pose today. Take the knees nice and wide, really to the edges of the mat. And then do not have your big toes to touch for today. So take your feet hip width apart behind you. And then you can kind of squeeze your bum almost in between the two heels. And that's where you come to rest forward. Now you might support your head by stacking your hands or your arms here, letting your forehead rest onto those. You might feel quite ready to let your head sink into the mat and reach the arms forward. So just do something that feels right for you. And we're starting into this child's pose today because this is a nice hip opening straightaway. We're also compressing through our adrenal glands and on kidney, liver action, ascending, descending column. So we have a big compression onto the two side fronts of our abdomen, torso. And so you might take a little sway side to side. You might comfortably sink your hips into your heels, or you might have a bit of space. So just see what feels and what touches and what grounds. And all is so fun. You close your eyes then and start to focus on your breath. Try and lengthen the breath into the abdomen, even though there is that compression on the two sides. And see if you can feel that movement, that massaging here into the belly, onto your thighs, your hips. With every breath in, feel that rising and falling even through the lower back because we're breathing into the stomach. And so you feel that kind of wave, massage-like movement. So the breath from here and out will be in and out through the nose. Quite a hip-focused class today, so whenever you need to, you can take a big sigh out of the mouth as a tool to release and to relax. And also quite normal to start to feel quite warm today, as we'll work big muscle groups for that reason and stretch out quite tight areas. Now last but not least, before we commence movement, see if you have just habitually any tension that you can free yourself from. So shoulders and neck often are those spots of tension. Maybe fingers or jaw for you. Maybe even the eyebrows. It's becoming more mindful of our bodies as they are right now. And then trying to find some more softness, some more stillness, some more present moment. Two more breaths in stillness here. And after that second breath, just find your own time to come into a tabletop. So two hands, fingers spread widely underneath the shoulders and two knees underneath your hips. And we'll just start to move intuitively through your cat-cow. So the in-breath, you're always looking up, you're stretching out through the front abdomen, the chest, the throat. Exhale, round and curl, chin to chest. Find that expansion through the upper chest. And then start to move, start to breathe. Whether it's linear, like we did this first round, or curious, side to side. Find where your most tight areas are, and then without judgment, just finding movement and breath through those areas. For my more seasoned yogis, you might bring your ujjayi into a practice here, and that whisper sound, that long lengthening breath. Let's take 4 more rounds of cat-cow. Maybe close your eyes so you can linger on those spots and breathe into those spots which need it most. Final 2 big breaths here. last breath. And after that last breath, simply walk the hands to your knees so you can come upright. And I'll bring my right foot out to the right side and breathing here into a nice and upright spine. My hip is directly above my left knee. And so from there now, I'll bring my left hand kind of beside me to the floor and then a little behind as well. So already we're stretching here through the front of the hips, here and through the psoas. Reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. You might have your left fingertips or your left hand flat to the floor, see what's most comfortable. And then see, in addition to the frontal of the hip stretching in the abdomen, if you can reach the hands further behind you. So we're stretching kind of open through the chest and the side waistline. Maybe you feel comfortable dropping your head back there too. So one more full round of breath here. Look whichever direction feels best for you as you simply and slowly take an inhale to rise back up, and we'll just change sides. So right knee down to the floor, left foot out to the side. Check please that your hip is still nicely stacked above the knee. The right hand comes down to the side and then behind you, and the left hand reaches up, and when you feel ready, maybe open and behind you as well. Good. 2 more breaths. And just see what this feels like, what this looks like for you. Use your next breath in to rise yourself all the way up. Bring your 2 knees down to the floor, your 2 feet to the floor, heels in, toes out. And I know it's really early, but we'll find ourselves into our Yogi Squat, our Halasana. So elbows on the inside of the knees. And again, if you know that tight hips is kind of you, then maybe grab a block to sit on or a big pillow. That is always okay. And we're really finding length through the spine here as we press those knees out. Let's see if you can find a little bit more pressure going into the baby toes rather than the big toes. And just 2 more breaths here, okay? Because I know this can be rather intense. So just 2 breaths, maybe even sigh or sway or move here. Yeah, we're still warming up and we're still just finding space. And on your next breath in, bringing hands down to the floor, fingers parallel to the front of your mat, and press back, step back, downward facing dog. And so here it's nice to take that little bit of movement as always, pedaling down those heels, maybe side swaying those hips. Uddiyana Bandha, which means the spine the belly draws into the spine and lifts up. Find that Ujjayi breath, because maybe we've forgotten a little bit about that. See if you can lift your sit bones as high as they possibly go, and just forget about always feeling the need to ground the heels all the way down or to straighten out the legs fully. And then bring the feet closer or all the way together to touch. Lift the right leg up, and we'll start here with the hip yawn. So bend your knee and open your right knee. And right hip as much as you can to the ceiling. Still looking at your left toes, the one on the floor. See if you can really flex the toes here to stretch through the thigh. And just breathing into the space, all the while still pressing the floor away. So ribcage comes closer to the left thigh, left heel down. 1 more round of breath here. And on an inhale, straighten out the leg, and on an exhale, tiger curl, right knee to left elbow, hold, and then bring the leg out to the side as far as it goes, as high as it goes. Again, just a little different for everyone. We'll just take 2 breaths here. And so we're stretching through the outer hip now. ITB, the IT band can seem and feel very familiar to cyclists or people that ever experienced a sciatica. So big breath. And simply just lift and bring it back, downward facing dog. 1 more time to the other side, feet close together, lift the left leg up, and then bend and open up. Keep breathing as you squeeze the right heel down, the left knee up. Press the floor away. And 2 more big breaths. Straighten out the left leg, 3-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, hold, and lengthen forward wherever it goes. And so just be always kind and bring it further forward if it's not quite gone there straight away. And just 2 breaths here. No need to sink down. No need to come into fancy poses just yet. Just opening and lengthening through that side of the hip. 1 more round of breath. And trying to really engage through the abdomen on your next breath in to bring it all the way back. Let's take little steps all the way forward until you reach the top of your mat. Let's take a halfway lift. Inhale, long spine, and then exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. 2 more rounds. Inhale, halfway lift, finding movement with the breath. Exhale, forward fold. Last round, halfway lift. Inhale. So from the hips, we really find some length into the hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold, and let's curl up to stand. Nice and slowly, take your time as we ripple through the spine. Take a shoulder roll down and back, standing tall, mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's get ready to flow. Welcome everyone, arms rise up, inhale, sun A's. Exhale, forward fold, bend through the knees. Hands touch the floor. Halfway lift, inhale, make it a little dance as always. Step into high plank, just to be kind on yourself. Let's take the knees down. Inhale to shift forward. And exhale, elbows slide in as you descend down. Take a little cobra here. Shoulders down and back, elbows squeeze in towards each other and your body. And curl your toes, downward facing dog. 1 round of breath here. And then inhale, look forward, step forward, maybe you're ready to jump, whatever you feel like. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise to stand with big arms this time around. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And flow your flow. So always okay to come back to the knees, right? Otherwise, make sure you're that plank as we descend. Long neck, long spine. Inhale. Find your back bend, whether it's a cobra or an up dog. Inner elbows face each other. Open the collarbones. Downward facing dog. Exhale. 1 breath here. Inhale, then look forward and step, hop, jump. Exhale. Flatten the spine. Inhale. Exhale to forward fold. Rise tall. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. Find your flow again. Exhale to lower. Inhale to your back bend, toenails to the floor, no cramping through the neck. Downward facing dog, always that leading point. It's downward dog or child's pose, always to come back to. 1 last round. Inhale, look forward, maybe a little jump, anything that feels good. Flatten the spine on your inhale. Feel free to move and flow on your breath. Exhale. Rise, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. High to low plank, exhale. Back bend of choice, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 3 breaths. Just to come back. Connect to that breath, Ujjayi. Connect to that lift and that length, that spaciousness, always our goal. Inhale, then look forward. Step or jump to the top. Take a halfway lift on arrival. Inhale. And then exhale to forward fold. Big toes together to touch. Let's come to chair pose. So we're sitting into our chair pose. Nice and low through those hips here. Ribs come in, belly lifts up, and the weight is into the heels to work the glutes rather than push weight into those knees. From there, now bring the hands together, the thumbs center up chest. And we'll start with a twist here. So lengthen forward, inhale, twist to the right, exhale. So before we focus more on the hips, I want to focus on particularly that lower to middle back connection here, where it can get so tight from sitting down a lot. So can you lower those hips and then lift your heart as we twist? You might look up, you might just look to the side. And check that your knees are still in one line and the left one does not shoot forward. Breathe all the way into your biggest twist. And then come back to chair pose, stay low, and exhale, twist to the left side now. And again, keep the weight out of the toes. Keep those knees together, sit your very lowest, and then lift your heart higher. Breathing again into that big twist. Loosening, lengthening, no heart, kind of shift through those twists. And then inhale, come all the way to chair. Keeping those legs burning, bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh. So this is our 4 shape. Lift the ankle higher so it doesn't lean on your actual kneecap or left leg. And then see if you can bring those hands back together. Imagine there's a chair like right behind you now. You're super keen to go and sit down. So really shift the weight back. But also keep the spine long. As soon as we start to round here, I no longer feel that stretch into my hips, and that's where I'd like you to feel the stretch. So lift it again higher if it's sliding, lengthen forward and sit down low. It's very early on in the practice, but some are naturally more flexible than others. So you might be able to touch the floor as long as it's not you rounding into the floor. Take one more big breath in here. And then slowly lift up and send your right leg back all the way as far as it goes. Bring the hands down to the floor. Your left foot to the left side as we'll come into lizard here. So back knee is down. Front knee and ankle stack. And then stay onto the hands if you need to. Come onto the forearms if you can. So really your choice. 3 big breaths here. Really going straight from that outer hip into the front line of our hip or psoas. One more breath, and remember that you can absolutely sigh anytime you feel like, ooh. Then bring the hands down to the floor. Curl the back toes and step all the way back, high plank. Inhale, shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Through your back bend, inhale. To downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, look forward, step or a little jump, top of the mat. Flatten the back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, inhale. Straight away, sit a little lower, hands might come together again. Lengthen, inhale, let's twist left side first now. So right elbow touches. Just an inhale here to sit low and an exhale to twist your very most. Come middle, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right side now. And again, an inhale to find length and space but sit low. And an exhale to twist your very most. Inhale, come back through to your chair and lift the left ankle top of right thigh. Find your balance first, your dristy, so that's your point of focus. And then see if you can shift back, sit low, lengthen the spine. And just noticing that often right or left side of your hip is just not bringing the same story, and that's okay. You might be okay to touch the floor. You might be like, absolutely not. Make sure we're not crunching into the right toes. Yeah, the right heel carries most of the weight. One more full round of breath here. And the breath is so necessary to find this space and to breathe as we stay, to encourage opening. Rising up, left leg steps back as far as it goes. Hands down to the floor, right foot to the right side of your mat, lizard. And again, check that we're stacking joints for safety. Back knee can be down. Hands or forearms, try and do what you did on the other side. 3 breaths. Coming to the hands, curling back toes, lift back knees, step back, high plank, inhale, shift forward, knees down is still fine, exhale, chaturanga. To the back bend, inhale, cobra, up dog, downward facing dog, exhale. Lift the right leg up, inhale, hip yawn, exhale, we've done this in the beginning. Straighten the leg, inhale. Step it forward, exhale. Back foot flattens, we've got heel to heel alignment. Take an inhale to rise up, and an exhale to open up, warrior 2. Now that's hippie, isn't it? So we look forward over your right middle finger, check that the knee lines over your second, third toe, not in the way of your big toe, and then really find that opening here through the front of your hips by peeling that left corner back without that knee coming in. And so we try, you might bounce a few times through that front knee to encourage opening, to stretch, to lengthen, and still breathe. Try one more breath here to sit low. Bring the hands together, the thumb center of chest. Take an inhale again. And then exhale, lift out of the right leg. Bend your left knee and sit down in a high skandasana. So that means my left knee is bent. Knee and toes always face the same direction, so on 2 sides. But you're really sitting back, so your weight goes all the way back. Your arms might be wide or hands might stay together. It's quite a bit of work here for the hips. Again, no rounding. So breathing here. For 3, for 2, and 1. Fly all the way back to the top of your mat. Inhale, high plank. Maybe a 3-legged plank for my people keen to flow a little bit more. To the back bend. To your downward facing dog. Definitely building heat now, guys. Left leg up, inhale. Hip yawn, exhale. Straighten it out, inhale. To exhale, slowly step it forward. First of all, back foot flat, heel to heel alignment. You can still track that, see that, arrange that. Inhale, rise up to warrior 2, exhale. And then just sit into this. No judgment, just kindness. Some days you feel like, yeah, I'm like nicely into that, I'm going deep. Some days you're like, no, I need to be here. So see what you can do as long as the alignment is there. Anyone really tight shoulders, you might have your hand palms up or even hands to the hips is fine too. 2 more big breaths where you just find opening through the hip and depth, whether that's through bouncing or stillness. Hands come together, lifting the left leg to straighten, right toes out, right knee bent, and sitting low, high skandasana. So really sit your weight back, arms beside you or hands together, and sit low into that right knee. Breathe. 3 breaths. Last round of breath, stay for the exhale. And then inhale, move your way forward. Hands down, left leg back or up. Exhale, chaturanga. Back bending, inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale, a little bit more movement. Right leg to lift, inhale. Hip yawn, exhale. Straighten it out, inhale. Step it forward. Exhale, back foot flat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open, warrior two. And then inhale, lift out of the right leg. High skandasana, bending through the left knee, or low skandasana. Stay here for one more round of breath. And then trying not to use our hands, but actually our core and hip strength. As you inhale, rise up, move back, front of your mat, high plank. Inhale, any way you want to flow, right? Exhale, descend. Through to your back bend, as long as it's spacious. Downward dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, inhale. Bend your knee and open. Hip yawn. Straighten, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale to step quietly. Back foot flat. Arrange the feet. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, lower, high skandasana. So right knee that is bent now, whether you're high up or low down. Check that the toes on either side are the same direction as the knees. So important for healthy knees. Now use your strength. If you absolutely need to, you can use the floor, yeah, to come back, high plank. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Through the back bend, inhale. To a child's pose, exhale. So taking a breath here because hips can build so much heat. So see how you're feeling here for a moment. It's not unusual to have a hippie kind of class, to bring up any emotions, maybe resentment towards me, maybe just good stuff, bad stuff, maybe just feeling aggravated. So sigh that away. And then also know that it doesn't always need to be covered over or sighed away. Maybe you just need to sit with this for a little bit. And if you are ready for a round of flow again, then come with me back to downward facing dog. And again, those feet come together closer to touch. Right leg to lift, inhale. Take a hip yawn, again, exhale. And either stay here, or you might feel warm and ready by now for a wild thing, quite similar to what we did in the beginning, but this time those hips stay off the floor again. Reach the right hand up and over. Try and find your chest and your hips to come up to the ceiling more for length there. And then coming back, three-legged dog. Inhale. And exhale, step it forward. Back foot flat, inhale, rise. To exhale, warrior two. And this time, inhale, reach the right hand down and stay. And just making sure that we stay tracking here as well, knee over ankle. Maybe a left hand down too. Keep those hips parking right in between the heels. Maybe even interlacing the fingers around your front ankle. Right shoulder is underneath the right knee now. Sit your very lowest wherever you need to be. Take a big breath in. Stay and lower for the exhale. And then inhale, come out, bend through the left knee, lower high skandasana. One round of breath here. And then come all the way to the front of your mat. Park your right foot to the right side of the mat. Lizard part two. Now for this part two, because we've been here already, maybe your back knee stays off the floor. Or maybe the back knee comes down and you start to bring a little push into the knee going outwards. So I'm on the blade of my right foot now, pushing my right knee outwards. You might even do this from the forearms. No crashing into the shoulders. Still offering length and space and the ability to breathe, more importantly. One more full round of breath. Hands down, with ease and grace mostly. Lift, step, high plank, Knees down if you're feeling like you might collapse down to lower down chaturanga slowly. Through to the back bend of choice. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale. Feet come closer. Left leg lifts. Bend your knee and open up. And again, feel free to stay, right? If you want to flip your dog, go for it. Feet up, hand, hip width apart. Reach, open, lengthen. Think upwards with the hips and the chest rather than side planking. One more full round of breath. Coming back to a three-legged dog. Inhale. Step it forward. Exhale. Back foot flat. Inhale, rise. To exhale, open warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Bring the left hand down. Either stay, or if that's welcome for you, right hand down too. And avoid again the hips poking out. So hips right in between those two heels. Take another round of breath here. Maybe interlacing the fingers around the front foot. Left shoulder is now underneath the left knee. And again, see what feels right for you. It brings a lot of strength and we encourage a lot of flexibility there. And then inhale, bring those hands together, bend through the right knee, lower high Skandasana. Breathe. Using core, using hands, whatever you can, as we move back through to the front with your left leg out to the side. So right knee comes either up or down, and maybe you took the option to push the knee outwards, maybe with the right forearm down. Try and do what you did on the other side, evening ourselves out nicely. Spacious through the shoulders and long to the neck. Let's sense some softness, steadiness, ease. We call it Stira and Sukha in yoga. One more round of breath. And then again, find that grace, that lightness as we come off the floor, curl and step. And if you've had it all together, you might just come straight to dog. Otherwise, take a round flow or even a child's pose. Breathe. Walking our hands to our feet this time around. And so you're at the back of your mat, just hang upside down. Find a bend through the knees to soften through the back of the legs. Shake your head, yes and no. We can tense up a lot when we work our hips. Breathe. Curl up to stand, articulate the spine. Nice and slowly. Until we stand nice and tall. Let's take a tree pose. I'll face you guys, but feel free obviously to stay just in the length of your mat. We'll start with the right foot here. Right foot can just go into the ankle for those of us struggling with balance today. Might come into the calf, might come all the way into the inner thigh, and then find a still spot to focus on, preferably with a gentle lift through your chin. So even the thyroid, the throat, lungs, everything's nice and spacious. Can you breathe into all that space we've built, and at the same time, without tilting the hip bones to the right side, just try and bring your right knee out further to the right. Stay here if there's any knee issues, but otherwise grab your right foot and bring this forward for half lotus. And so you hold this with your left hand as your knee comes down. Again, if this hurts your knee in any way, don't do it. And bring just one hand to the center of chest here. Nice opening and lengthening here through the knee. Maybe two hands can come together. Let's take one more big breath. And then exhale, right foot down. Take a moment in Tadasana. And otherwise, when you're ready, left sole of the foot, ankle, calf, never the knee, otherwise inner thigh. Make sure that the two hip bones stay square. So if your left hip starts the lift up, it's simply just better to bring the left sole of the foot into the calf. Finding length and space, chin up. Your dristi, so your gaze lies quite high up, further down. And it's okay to stay with this one, as the next one can be quite intense on the hips and the knee. About half lotus if you feel ready for more, lifting up the ankle, grabbing it with the right hand on the outside, so the top end of your foot. And the knee comes down. It might go all the way down, it might kind of lift to a halfway point, but make sure there's no pain in the joints. Left thumb, center of chest. And for some, maybe right hand too. 3 breaths. Inhale, stay. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms rise up, maybe a little back bend. While lifting, exhale, forward fold. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Maybe that last chaturanga, maybe not. Is it really a hip class if we don't take half pigeon? I don't think so. So lift the right leg up for extension, for lift, for length, and simply bring the right knee to the right side of your mat. So right knee, right side of your mat. Your shin, I often get asked, my shin doesn't go parallel, mine either, and that's okay. So ideally, you'd have your shin as high as it goes, but probably it will be much more heel underneath your pubic bone. Stretch the left leg back here, and make sure your hips stay nice and square. You might stay upright, you come forward if that is nice. And for those of you that it's uncomfortable, you bring the shin forward, you bend your back knee, and so that shin is long, and then you come forward, much more safe for the knee. So that's your deer pose if you want a modification. If we're happy and healthy through the knees, guys, we stay here for 2 minutes. Let your forehead rest, please. There's this direct link between that low point in your forehead, your third eye even, and if that's rested and your eyes are closed, it immediately starts to rest our nervous system. It can even quiet our mind, and if your mind is still kind of going fast forward or kind of being taken away into thoughts, then every inhale you think the word let. And every exhale think the word go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Maybe you can find some softness through the hips, your leg muscles. And then into the shoulders, your jaw, your eyebrows. Inhale, left. Exhale, go. One more. Take your final breath here. Really soften fully on that last breath out. nice and simple. So again, so easy and so softly. We come up and you take your time to curl the back toes and to come out into a nice and still downward dog. And just notice the sensations going right into your right leg, your right knee, thigh. Good. Feel the temperature change. Maybe the color of your foot is different. Left leg lifts, inhale. Half pigeon left side, so left knee to left side of the mat. Drag the right leg back. Feel free to take your deer variation, bending 2 knees. Otherwise, hips nice and square. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, come down as much as you can. You might stay just upright or have a big pillow underneath you. Get comfortable, get cozy. We're at home, right? So know you can as well. Grab whatever you need. I'm still breathing into our diaphragm, into our belly. Maybe even when we take those big breaths, you feel again that lifting and that massaging going back into the lower back, as this pose is so incredibly healing for our lower back. Is your forehead rested, your shoulders somewhat soft, maybe your fingers are all crunched up together and you can relax those. Let the root of your tongue together with your whole tongue be relaxed into your mouth. One more. Three last honest and juicy breath. Finish that third breath. We'll one last time come back to downward facing dog. A moment of stillness here again. Let the blood do the magic, work its magic, heal you. Take a big step with the right foot to the right side of your mat. Same with the left side of your mat. We're back in Malasana, so we've come full circle. Push the knees out wide. Notice if there's a change here, or if this is just not your pose, and that's okay too. Long spine, maybe fingertips together and heads wide for more pressure outwards. Maybe again pressing more into the baby toes than the big toes. Big breath. And then slowly come to sit down. Use your hands if you need to. And we'll bring 2 legs straight forward. I'll bring my right sole of the foot over on the outside of my left knee. And it's rather kind of that knee, and it can be on the inside as well, by the way, if that's better for you. So inside or outside, it really doesn't matter too much. I'd like the two sit bones to be grounded and whatever makes you less kind of prone to falling backwards. Make also sure the foot's not too close into the groin because then we definitely fall forwards a lot quicker. So from here on out, the right hand comes nice and close into the base of your spine. You really don't park it far away. Like prop yourself upright. And the left hand right up to the ceiling. Inhale here, and then exhale, hook the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Two sit bones stay down. Find length here. Inhale. And then exhale, look behind you as we twist. Belly in, find that space. Come forward, right leg forward, left sole of the foot in or outside. Do what you did on the other side. Left hand nice and close into the base of your spine. Right hand lifts, inhale. And then right elbow on the outside of the thigh. Again, inhale, lengthen. And with the exhale, twist and look behind you. Notice if there's falling backwards. Always twist with a long spine. So important to not kind of squeeze those vertebrae together, the discs. And then inhale, slowly come forward. For your final shape here, it's always okay, by the way, now to take a little sway, a little movement. But we'll come and find a wall space. So for me, that would be my door here. You can pop your mat into the length if you like. I'm just shuffling over. Come and sit nice and close to sideways a wall that you have next to you now. So you can very easily come and lie down and flip your legs up the wall. Now, if you don't have any free wall space, then that's okay. We'll just bring a block or just your legs up to the ceiling is fine as well. This is just a little bit more relaxing. If you're super cold, feel free to wear something. Your arms can be quite overhead like I'm doing here. Your hands might be on hard belly, hip bones are right beside you. So find your comfortable legs up the wall or just legs up position. And then just close your eyes as this is your either last or second to last resting shape. And so all the hard work is done here. Take a sigh. Release from managing of breath, release from thoughts. Release from tension then. Notice again and again, habitually we do hold tension in certain spots. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, maybe even roll your neck from side to side. Take a little time to soften. Right here, I'll give you 2.5 minutes of stillness to just be. comfortable with the legs up the wall, then just stay. However, if you'd like to finish your practice lying flat on the floor in Savasana, then that is beautiful as well. And so you just slowly bend your knees and chin back to come lie onto the mat for our final minute and a half. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Inhale up, exhale go. Eyes still closed, finding little movements. You might start with the all too familiar wiggle through the toes and fingers, or rolling through the neck. Deeper, maybe awakening breath. And maybe knees into your chest, that rocking and massaging of the lower back. Direct connection to where we've stretched and strengthened so much today. Just feeling, just observing. No attachments, no opinions. And come and roll into your favorite side, and again with kindness, just be there for a moment, just notice, just be. We get so caught up rushing into this moment and in that moment where we kind of get stuck into the luxury of being so busy and so always on the go, myself included, 100%. And so slower than usual, and maybe even not at all. If you want to stay longer in Savasana, stay. Otherwise, just slower than usual, come to your final seat. Whatever that seat looks like for you. And whatever it is there, just finding an upright spine, some space there, either hands together or hand to heart and belly is always nice. Take a moment to send yourself all the gratitude again for coming to your mat and taking this time for you. I wish you a very beautiful rest of your week, and I thank you so much, everyone. Namaste.